Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available Christmas 2024. The album that keeps on giving. Dad. Shimmy, shimmy. AF. Only by K-Tel. Someone read the letter you wrote me on the radio. Looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening. These are my roots, see? These are my roots, okay? When I was a little kid in my imaginary world, imagining that I was Donna Summer roller skating in my driveway, no, true story, I did. I put on, you know, the 8-track. I had this, like, it looked like this little robot thing, right? And then I had these 8-tracks, you know, those 8-track cassette things. Well, they weren't even, I don't think they were called cassettes. They were just called 8-tracks, right? But I had the Donna Summer, and I had the greatest hits of Donna Summer. The cover was black. I can remember it just said Donna Summer greatest hits on it. And then I also had Xanadu, because in Xanadu they roller skate, you know. Oh my god, I wanted to be one of the muses so bad. Do you remember that? The muses, and you never seen Xanadu? How have you never seen, how have you made it this far in your life? And your assignment for drama class tonight is to find, I don't know where Xanadu is showing in a theater near you. I don't know where Xanadu is streaming anymore. But you need to watch Xanadu. If you've never seen it tonight, it is the most fantastic roller skating movie in the entire world. It will make you want to roller skate like nobody's business. They're like, it's about roller skate. Xanadu's about roller. Yes, Olivia Newton-John, she roller skates through the whole thing. And she has these muses, okay, that come from other planets or something like that. I don't know that I really get the movie to this day. I don't really know that anybody really gets the movie to this day. All I know is there is this most fantastic, like, 21-minute musical roller skating montage at the end of the movie that is so unbelievable. It's kind of like, if you've ever seen the movie The Wiz, which is also one of my favorite movies of life. In The Wiz, when Dorothy goes to Oz, they do this whole thing where all the people are, it's like this fashion show, and they go, the color is green, the color is red, and then all their clothes change and stuff like that. It's like that. I love a good movie montage, don't you? Oh my god, like, I love the Pretty Woman, where she's trying all the clothes on and stuff like that. I love a good montage like that in a movie. Is that what it's called? Because the other day, okay, here's the thing. So, I get things wrong sometimes. Y'all know I do, right? And somebody was laughing in the comment sections. I think it was very funny. I didn't think it was very nice. They said the way that Peter pronounces the Mandela effect. And I was like, what am I pronouncing wrong? Am I pronouncing Mandela wrong? I don't get it. Because I did this whole thing in my video where I don't really get the whole Mandela thing. In fact, my friend Nikki today, I'm still confused by it. I don't know why she texted me this just to mess with my day. But she sent me this. Is this a meme or is this a quote? I never know when it's like a picture or a joke. But it's these two things with Fruit of the Loom. And one of them has the cornucopia behind it and one of it doesn't. And it says, this is the only Mandela effect that I've never read a good explanation for. I know what I saw. And then after that, she texted me. She goes, this is making me crazy. Please tell me you also remember the cornucopia. I don't remember anything from that. But what I do know is that a lot of people said that I was saying Mandela effect wrong. Okay, so what's so funny about that is that I actually Googled what Mandela effect is, and basically it goes all the way back to Nelson Mandela, okay? And that people thought Nelson Mandela was, like, had passed away, you know, and things like that years and years and years ago, like in the 80s or whatever, and people, like, really believed it, you know? And so I don't know why people were saying that I was saying something wrong when I said Mandela effect when it starts with Nelson Mandela. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I'm reading all this, right? I'm like, why are people saying that I'm pronouncing this wrong? I feel like I've watched 400 videos where they say Mandela effect. And then I'm like, Nelson Mandela. Oh, it's Mandela effect. I'm like, Peter, you are so stupid. Okay, you are so stupid. And so to that person out there that commented that on my video, I just want to say, well, other than apologizing to the Depends community and that you farted and shit yourself communities today, I want to apologize to you personally and thank you, because if it wasn't for you, I would probably still be calling it the Mandela effect. And in fact, probably a year from now, I'll still be calling it the Mandela effect, because change takes 21 days to happen. And listen, I'm not looking at those Mandela effects every single day. Mandela effects. I'm not looking at them every day because they weird me out so much. I don't really get them. And I'll tell you something else that weirds me out. Oh my God. Okay. So y'all know that I love the true crime. And I said I was going to start doing true crime over here. I said I was going to start doing it in April, and I did like 3 in a row, and then people are like, where's the true crime? I said I was doing it in April. I'm coming back in April with true crime. So anyway, I got to do deep research, you know, because you don't do, it's like when you do Amberlynn Reid videos. True crime, I got a hair on my... People were asking for a Jaclyn Hill video today, but I didn't. Hairy lipsticks and things. But anyway, it's like when you do an Amberlynn Reid video. Okay, I haven't watched Amberlynn Reid consistently in years, right? And so if you come out and you say something about like wifey number 1 or wifey number 2, then they'll tell you, they'll be like, it's the same wifey. She came out and she said that at the 7 minute and 12 second mark of her 3rd vlog 4 weeks ago. And I'm like, yeah, I don't watch her that closely, okay? I need less of Amberlynn Reid, not more, right? So, but people will always say that to you about Amberlynn Reid. Like, if you get one thing wrong, okay, the people will be like, oh my God, she did not have Dinty Moore stew. That was chicken noodle soup. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. It was a joke. So people get real upset if you get one thing wrong about Amberlynn Reid. Well, the same thing goes for, like, true crime, right? So you gotta get your facts right and do your research. So I'm looking at a couple cases right now. I'm looking at the Crystal Rogers case. Probably is going to be the one that I come back on because I watched that documentary, and they're actually going to court next year. So that's kind of a current case that's going on. That's probably the one that I'm going to start back with. But I've been watching true crime like nobody's business. Somebody recommended, well, several people recommended to me this show. My friend Tanya Jean, I was telling her about it. She goes, oh, I've seen every season of that. She goes, you're late to the game on that. I go, well, no, duh. I know I'm late to the game to that because there's 25 seasons of it. But it's called the devil that lives inside. What's it called? I don't know what it's called. Hold on a second. What's it called? Evil Lives Here. Evil Lives Here. Oh my God. I was like, Tanya Jean, how? And then people are starting recommending these shows called Your Neighbor Next Door and things like, I don't need to think that my neighbors next door are real evil. I got real nice neighbors. I don't need to think that they're going to like murder me and chop me up and, you know, bury me in their backyard in their vegetable garden and things like that. Listen, my mind can go there anyway. But I've been watching a show called Evil Lives Here. I was telling Tanya G, my friend, I said, listen, some of these cases are kind of big. I'm kind of surprised I've never heard of them before. She goes, well, what season are you on? I go, well, I'm only on the 4th episode of season 1. She started laughing at me. So anyway, last night, I was like, I got to take a break from that, okay? I'm almost done with Murder Under the Friday Night Lights. Oh my God, it is so good if you've never seen it. It's so good. 3 seasons. And, okay, so then I'm watching Evil Lives Here. But then I was like, I got to take a break from this. So I was on the Amazon, right? The other night I was watching some movies on the Amazon Prime. I love the Amazon Prime so much. Oh my God. When you order from the Amazon Prime, it comes right to your door, and it's all, like, wrapped up like a Christmas present and stuff. I love it. You just order from the... I mean, you have to pay for it. It's like you have to pay for your own Christmas present, you know? But anyway, I love that so much. So anyway, I was watching these movies on Amazon, and this thing kept on coming up for me, and it was like, you know, when it recommends shows to you that are, like, of your interest, and it was called The Devil You Know, and I go, well, I already watched that, and then I went and I looked at it. There was a season 2. I did not know there was a season 2 of The Devil You Know. So I watched season 1. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so scary. It was about this guy. I don't remember what his name was. His name was something like John Smith or Earl Jones or... Is that a famous singer, Earl? Oh, no, that was the guy that played... Wasn't he in Star Wars or something like that? Earl something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't have that good of a memory when it comes to Star Wars because I've only seen, I think, like the first 2. So I know people come for me all the time. I haven't seen the Godfather movies either. That's on my list. But right now we're deep into true crime, so we can forget about that. I kind of put the Harlan Coben shows on pause for a second. So anyway... so I went in, I saw, the first season was about this guy, okay? His name was like Earl, or I think it was John Smith or something like that. But he changed his name. Did you know you could do that? You can change your name. No, legally you can and everything. But anyway, I didn't, like, people say they do that, you know, when their name's like Christina, but then they go like Tina. Like Christina Crawford, you know, Mommy Dearest. She changed her name, I think, to Tina later. But then she got her name back because then she wanted to sell the books because nobody would know that she was, you know, because, you know, her mom called her Tina. Christina! She said, Tina, bring me the axe. You know how it goes, but all that kind of stuff. And then people change their names legally to like Tina instead of Christina. I think if I was a Christina, I would probably just go by, I don't know, maybe Chrissy Joe. Maybe I'd go by like Chrissy. I don't think I'd go by Tina. I definitely don't think I'd go by Tina. But if there's any Tinas out there, listen, hey, own it, okay? But I just don't think I'd go by Tina. Maybe I would. I don't know. Tina. It's kind of a 70s name. I guess Chrissy Joe's kind of a 70s name. I mean, hell, I'm stuck in the 70s, right? So anyway, Chrissy Joe. If I had a baby, would I name her Chrissy Joe? Oh my God, maybe I should name my next dog Chrissy Joe. But we always get boy dogs. But you could name a boy dog Chrissy Joe, couldn't you? Oh my God, I love that. Oh, maybe I'll have to name my next dog. I have a list of dogs' names for the next dog that we rescue, okay? I got cutest names on there. So anyway, I'll have to add Chrissy Joe to that. I like Chrissy Joe. Maybe instead of Susie Jones and Judy Smith, I'll start using Chrissy Joe. But I won't remember it. I won't remember that at all. Because I used Sally Joe for a while and I didn't remember that. But I like Chrissy Joe. I like anybody that has Joe as a middle name. But anyway, this guy, his name was John Smith. Something like that. And he changed his name to Pazuzu. I was like, oh my God, how did he come up with that name? Well, they tell you in this documentary. Because, you know, documentaries tell you everything. And he changed his name to Pazuzu because Pazuzu was the people that are here for like Joey Graceffa, the Janiels. This is, okay, if you are a Janiel out there and you came to my video to watch me dog Joey Graceffa, well, wait about 5 more minutes. This is called my intro, okay? It's kind of like you're watching the Johnny Carson show. Now, I know you never heard of Johnny Carson because he was dead before you were even alive because you're 12 years old, fangirling, okay, over 2 gay men that were never in a real relationship to begin with, okay? That it was contractual just to boost Joey Graceffa's image, okay? Just do the math, okay? Do your research on Daniel and Joey and do the math. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So anyway, that's coming in just a second. But for you Janiels that are over here, right now, this intro that you cannot stand because you're like, when is he going to get to the Joey Graceffa part? This is called your punishment for being a Janiel, okay? The Janiels broke up like 5-6 years ago, okay? So they're no longer together and things like that, even though they're still best friends. They like broke up, they fell out of love, and then they just... Anyway, we won't get into all that. But if you're here and you're a Janiel, welcome. You're more than welcome to stay. But you're probably not going to like this video. I'm just going to tell you. And this right now, this intro that you have no idea what I'm talking about, because it's all stuff that happened before you were born. Because you're like 12 years old. This is punishment for you. Okay, so anyway, but this Pazuzu guy, he was like real into heavy metal. You know, they always want to blame the heavy metal and stuff like that, like AC/DC. Back in the day when I was like growing up, they always blamed like AC/DC on like being Satan worshipers and things like that. But anyway, which is kind of weird because when you ever do watch these shows about like Satan worshipers, they do listen to a lot of heavy metal, you know, which is kind of weird that they always say that. You know, they always want to blame like Satan worshipers on heavy metal, but then like Satan worshipers do listen to a lot of heavy metal. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe that should be a whole video that I do over here. Our metalheads. And that's what we call them. Back in the day, we called them metalheads. So anyway, I was like in my head thinking, could you see that? See, I had this good girlfriend of mine, on my vlog, I refer to her as my friend that I went to kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, college, and graduate school. That's what I call her in my vlog, right? But she had this boyfriend in high school. Now, we all listened to like Susie, Sue and the Banshees, and the Smiths, and the Cure, and all that kind of stuff. But he was like a metalhead, right? He was in this band, okay? I even remember what the band was called to this day, okay? It was called like Primitive something, something, something. But anyway, I want to say that on Primitive Infinity Forever, I think is what it was called. Can I say that? They're not together anymore. They done dismangled like 30 years ago. But I'll never forget, okay? She found this drawing that he did, okay, when he was like 7 years old or something like that. And we went to Shoney's because we used to go to Shoney's buffet, breakfast buffet. Oh my God, Shoney's we used to go to Rack's, Denny's, Perkins, and Shoney's breakfast buffet. Those were the places that we used to hang out there because you could smoke club cigarettes and drink all the coffee you wanted to. And they never kicked you out. We were always friends with the waitresses. That's kind of what growing up in the mid to late 80s was all about. But anyway, Steak and Shake used to have these little, like, fake little aluminum looking, like, ashtrays. Do you remember that? Anyway, Denny's had real glass ashtrays. It doesn't matter. So anyway, he was in this band, and he loved Kiss, okay? Y'all know Kiss? Okay. So anyway, he loved Kiss so much. And at the time in Indianapolis, there was this place called Market Square Arena. It's been torn down. People have taken the roof, and they turned it into wallets and things like that. But it used to be this big concert place. Huge, huge. Like, played sports there and stuff like that, right? But anyway, he did this little drawing when he was, like, 7 years old. I need to text him so much and tell him today that I'm talking about him in this video. He'll love that. So anyway, he is a sober sister of mine today. We've been sober about the same amount of time. Isn't that crazy that we've both been sober about the same amount of time? Anyway, I love that for us. But, so, he had this drawing that he did when he was like 7 years old. He probably don't even remember this. I don't know how I remember this. But we were at the Shoney's breakfast buffet, and she brought this out because she had, like, his mom gave it to her or something like that. And it was him, and he was standing outside. It was like he had to draw, like, what he did for the summer, and he said he went to the Kiss building, where Kiss lives, and it was Market Square Arena, because he had gone there and seen a concert. Isn't that so cute? I love that. But anyway, Pazuzu was this guy. He was a Satanist, right? But he liked metal music, okay? Because they all do. All the Satanists like metal music. If you're going to be a Satanist, you got to like metal music. And I think you got to listen to it backwards or something like that. You know, back in the day, I don't do drugs no more. I've been sober for over 29 years. But back in the day, do you remember, like, if you grew up in my era, or probably every era, I think they still are talking about this, they would say things like, if you listen to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and you started it on the second growl of the lion, Metro Golden Mayer Lion, MGM, when Wizard of Oz starts, that it syncs up. That's not true. That never worked for me. I don't know. That never worked for me, right? And if you played certain things backwards, they said certain things, and then your mind would be taken over by the devil. I was always too scared. Listen, I wouldn't even look in a mirror and say Candyman, okay? No, I wouldn't. And I was watching something the other day, and somebody was talking about Bloody Mary in the mirror and stuff like that. I won't even say it in the fucking camera, because I can tell you right now, she's going to show up, okay? I've seen Pazuzu. Well, the documentary, I've never met him in person. But anyway, so there was this documentary. He was a Satanist, and he was killing these people, and he was burying them in his backyard. It was real good. It was spooky strange. So I saw a second season come up, right? And the second season is called The Devil You Know. But it's about this woman, and her name was Sherry Shriner. Have you guys ever heard of her? Oh my God. She ran this cult. Well, some people said it wasn't a cult, but it was a cult. Okay. And she thought that everybody was in the world, that you were either cloned or you were an alien, reptilian alien, okay? And that the aliens had been here, and they had made a contract with basically the Illuminati. She says it in there, okay? And they had made a contract, and the whole United States was built on this contract with these reptilian aliens, okay? And so it all starts out because this one woman, she shoots her boyfriend. It's real sad, right? And she don't really remember it and stuff like that, but it goes back to Sherry Shriner, okay? And Sherry Shriner believed that she was a witch and that she was a vampire. And the reason why she thought she was a vampire was because she posted a picture on her Facebook group, this woman, right, of steak tartare, and she said, it sounds really good. Well, this Sherry Shriner was like, oh no, you're of the devil. You want blood because you're a vampire. And then she told this guy that he needed to leave her. And then he got kicked out of the group. It was a Facebook group. You know how it is when you get kicked out of Facebook groups and stuff like that, okay? People get all bent out of shape about the Facebook group. But I have to tell you, this show is so weird. It's about this woman. And let me just tell you, she ran a podcast. She ran a podcast on YouTube. I went back and I looked it up. It's still there. She ain't posted anything in years. Now, don't tell me what happens with Sherry Shriner, because I haven't finished it yet. But something happens to her. I don't know if she's not here anymore, but anyway, she went to Liberty College, which is where Jimmy Fallon, James Falk, whatever that guy was, But anyway, she wanted to be on CNN as a Christian reporter. I was like, girl, I don't think they have any Christian reporters over there on CNN. I mean, Anderson Cooper's over there. So anyway, but she was like real against the gays and all this kind of stuff. And she thought everybody was cloned. And so it was real weird, but I was watching it. But anyway, she was running a cult on the YouTubes, you guys, okay? And all these people were sending her money for this thing that if you put it on somebody, it would take away their powers and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, listen, I got some haters out there, okay? I got people that say that I'm running a cult over in my vlog, sharing stories about my dead mom and my recovery. People say I'm running a cult over there, and Sherry Shriner was literally running a cult. She raised $700,000 in 10 years on the YouTubes, okay? Begging people to send her money so that she could buy this stuff called Orgone or something like that. And it was like the stuff that you put on vampires and aliens, and then it took away their powers, okay? People hate me for having an opinion about Jaclyn Hill, and Sherry Shriner was scamming people out of their money off a metal that would take away a vampire's powers. Get the fuck out of here. You can do whatever you want to do on YouTube, so I'm going to have my opinion. And my opinion today is about Joey Graceffa and about Ryland Adams, because I was kind of wondering last night. I was like, I need some more lip gloss. Did I even put my lip gloss on today? I don't even know. But I was like, what happened to their movies? Is that Endless Night movie? That's a personal joke with my book club partner, because before the book club was a true crime book club, it was just like a book club, right? And I picked this book by Richard Lehman called Endless Night. Years and years and years ago, I read it. I had to lock the doors. I was so scared reading it. It was about these cannibals killing all these people and stuff, right? So we read it for the book club. It was so bad I couldn't even get through it the second time. My friend Mel, to this day, whenever she wants to be kind of snarky and snippy with me, she just sends me a picture of Endless Night. In fact, I did a Q&A on Instagram the other day. I was like, ask me some questions on Q&A, and she put Endless Night on there. She thinks she's always trying to get in with that Endless Night. But anyway, I was like, is that Escape the Night ever coming out? Like, did he raise any money for that? Did he raise enough money and things like that? And then I was like, oh, is Ryland Adams and Lizzie, are they coming out with a Christmas movie? Because they, they were raising all this money for a Christmas movie. And I knew that Ryland and Lizzie had said that if they didn't raise, I think they were trying to raise $500,000 or something like that, that if they didn't raise enough money for that, then they weren't going to do the Christmas movie or something like that. So I was like, did they ever say anything? I don't know. I'm just going to go off of what I read online. So, because that's the truth. If you go online and you find something, God knows it's the truth. I don't know. But the reason I was thinking about this was because I just recently came out, I think maybe over here, but also in my vlog, and I said, for those of you that don't know, I made a big announcement on Christmas, right? And I said that next year, so here is my plan. I have this book that I want to write, right? It's going to be called Night Silent. And it's about 5 people that basically are all either sober or trying to get sober, and they're all stuck together on Christmas Eve, and it's like 12 hours in real time of their life. And so I want to write that book, okay? I've already started outlining, got the whole thing outlined, everything like that, right? And then I wanted to release that book after Halloween on Amazon. I was going to self-publish it and everything. And then I was going to come out and I was going to make a movie about this. Now, I've already asked the people to be in the movie, okay? My brother, my new sister-in-law, Jessie, she's going to be the lead in it, even though she don't want to be, she's going to be, okay? Because she said, I think she'll be a fantastic part. I was like, you are perfect for the lead in this, okay? And then my sister-in-law and my nephew are going to be in it, and I got some other friends of mine in recovery that they all want to be, all these people. I'm joking, Jessie really does want to be in it. And so anyway, everybody's going to be in it, and they're real excited when I asked them. They're like, oh no, this would be fun. And so I was going to like rent an Airbnb for a weekend, film the whole thing, all this kind of stuff. It was going to be real low budget, right? I had so many people that reached out to me, honest to God, that were like, I would love to be in your movie. I'm an actor. You know, I do community theater, blah, 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 whatever. I live like 2 hours from you. I would love to be in your movie. I won't charge you anything. I had videographers, editors. I had all kinds of people reaching out to me because they knew how passionate I was about it. So here was the deal. So I came out not too long ago and I said that I didn't know if the movie was going to happen this year. And the reason I didn't know if the movie was going to happen was because the whole thing takes place, in my mind at first it was going to be a blizzard. And then it was going to be a freeze that happened all over town. Well, Indiana, the average temperature has been about 65 this winter, okay? I mean, it's not conducive to filming a movie like that. It just isn't, okay? And so I was like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to film it this year. I was still thinking about putting out the book, but I was like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to film it this year. Oh my God! You would think that I had like, you know, was murdering people and things like that, had my own true crime documentary, and people were calling me Pazuzu, and I was listening to heavy metal backwards. People were so upset about it. Now, a lot of people were real nice about it, you know, stuff like that, but some people were just, like, making fun of it and all this kind of stuff. I thought to myself, you know what? I said in this video that I was not charging a dime for this. I was self-funding this whole thing, okay? I don't make the kind of money that Ryland Adams, Shane Dawson, and Joey Graceffa make. Okay, Joey Graceffa is currently in London right now because somebody sent me his vlog, wanted me to watch it, so I did. He's currently in an Airbnb in London right now. Okay, like a 3-story, two bedroom, 2-bathroom Airbnb. I don't have that kind of money, okay? I don't have the kind of money that Ryland and Shane have to have 2 homes and stuff like that. I ain't begging for nobody's money. And then people were like, well, that's kind of how it works in movies. That's how it works in movies if you're a movie producer, okay? A job for a movie producer is somebody that invests their own money and also gets financial backers for the movie, okay? That's what happens when you're in the film industry. When you're making a movie because you want to make it, it's not necessarily that way, right? And people are like, well, how can they make a movie unless they have a budget for it? Well, I actually went in last night and I did some research, okay, about low-budget movies that have done really, really well. And so here, for example, is El Mariachi from 1993. The budget was $7,000. Now, I can afford $7,000, okay? And it grossed $2 million and worldwide $2 million, okay? Tarnation, just to put this in perspective for you, okay? I know people are going to be like, well, that's 1993. Came out in 2003. Its budget was $218.32. Gross worldwide was $592,000. Gross was $592,000, and worldwide was $1,162,000, okay? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Budget, $140,000. That's less money than what both of them were asking for. It grossed worldwide $30 million, okay? Once from 2006, which was one of my mom and I's favorite movies ever, about that man, that woman that make that song and then they end up falling in love. Budget was $150,000. That was an Oscar-nominated movie, y'all, okay? Worldwide, $150,000 budget. What do you think they put in? What do you think it made? Worldwide, $20 million, okay? The Wretched, which came out in 2020, $66,000 budget. It made $4,300,000 worldwide. Super Size Me, the documentary, came out in 2004, $65,000 budget. Worldwide, made $20 million, okay? The Blair Witch Project, which is one of the most famous low-budget films, which came out in 1999. I still remember going to the movie theater with that. I've told that story over here a million times. Its budget was $60,000, and it grossed worldwide $248 million, okay? So you don't have to have a lot of money to make a movie. You have to have some creativity. You have to have people that are willing to do it. And I even said it in my video that I was going to compensate the people that worked on the film and things like that. I was going to pay for travel expenses. I was going to pay for everything. I was going to pay for everything out of my own pocket, okay? And I don't have that kind of money, right? And I said all that, and then when I said, oh, the timing of it might have to be a year or two down the road because of the weather, and I got to figure out how, I mean, it's one thing to have everybody here in Indianapolis and fly out my sister-in-law and rent an Airbnb. It's a different thing to have to get 10 people, 15 with people that are helping out, and go to upstate Michigan to rent an Airbnb. That's a little bit more expensive, but I'm willing to do that. Not this year, I can't do it, but maybe next year I can do it, right? So I'm thinking about all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, did Ryland Adams, did he ever come out and say what was happening with, I don't know, because I don't watch, his videos that closely, but I was like, what happened with Ryland Adams' Christmas movie? And Joy Graceffa, what happened with Escape the Night? So I went over to the Escape the Night Twitter, right? And what was interesting to me, as soon as I went over here, because do y'all remember that as soon as he was announcing that he was raising money for this movie, the Escape the Night movie, he didn't want to do a TV show anymore. YouTube Originals is over. He wanted to come out and he wanted to do a movie. Remember, that was the thing, right? I went over here and I looked at Escape the Night, and what's interesting about this is that the last tweet from Escape the Night is on 1/2/24. All episodes of Minecraft Escape the Night are live. 6 comments. Not getting a lot of traction on this. The end is near. We are the final stretch of the crowdfunding campaign for Escape the Night, the movie. Your final chance to be part of the project is now. And this was on 1/1/24. That's their last one begging for money. So I went over here and I was like, well, I want to see what Escape the Night, did they reach their goal? What happened with all of that, right? Okay, so I went over here and I looked, and hold on a second. Where is my receipts on this? My receipts, Whitney. Okay. I have so many receipts. Oh my God, about all this kind of stuff. So here it is. Oh, I'm looking at the total solar eclipse and all this kind of stuff. Where is my receipts on Escape the Night? Maybe I said I was just going to pull it up, and I didn't have it. Well, anyway, basically what it is they didn't raise... Hold on a second. They didn't raise the money that they needed to raise, okay? But they weren't super short. Here it is. I'll just pull it up on the Indigo. I'm pulling it up right now. So they ended up, it ended on January 2nd of 2024. Now, don't you think it's interesting that the day before is the last post on Escape the Night Twitter, except for the Minecraft one? Okay. They raised $156,000 and $433, okay? And, that was by January 2nd, 2024. Now, I have to be honest with you. I think he was trying to get $500,000. Well, it says on here, like, if he raises this amount of money, this is what you'll get, blah, 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 whatever, right? But I was like, I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't think $156,000 is that bad. I really didn't. I thought, well, that's a lot of money. You could do a lot with $156,000, I mean, hell, I just read you a lot of movies that had a lot of budgets that were a lot less than that ended up making $20-40 million, Blair Witch Project, $60,000. It had less than half that budget, right? So there's a lot you can do with $156,000, especially if you're somebody that's been on YouTube for a long time. You know about editing, you know about filming, you have friends of yours that are in the industry and things like that, which he said he was going to use, people that had been in the past ones, plus traditional actors. He was going to say, well, traditional actors you would probably have to pay. So I went underneath here and I was reading this, right? And it says, we are in demand. The official campaign is over. Thank you to all those who supported us. You rock. The campaign has now moved into in demand, which allows us to offer a couple of tiers, so it's still the tier kind of thing, right? Escape the Night returns, and it goes on here and it says all this kind of stuff and explains what it is and why a movie. Didn't you check out the teaser trailer above? No explanation needed, but honestly, I want to create a bigger Escape the Night universe for us to experience. A world of more intense storytelling, adventure, lore, and horror. The best evolution we can imagine for Escape the Night is to make it more immersive experience. It will have clues, laughs, scares, challenges, betrayal, and drama like you once loved. And I know there are a lot of people out there that like Escape the Night, right? So I'm reading all this kind of stuff, talking about what era is it and all this kind of stuff. The lost episode, and it's all snuck down here. This was not in here when I originally looked into this video, okay, months ago. We are creating a 20-plus minute short film or episode of the series. It will be fully scripted and take us to places the series never did. And I was like, wait a second. You raised $156,000 for a 20-plus minute episode? The Lost episode? The Lost clip? That's your movie for $156,000. How much is Rosanna Pansino getting paid? Because he says in here, who's going to be in it? Joey Graceffa will, of course, return as a savant, and also Rosanna Pansino for the rest of cast. We'll be merging traditional actors and incredible fan-favorite YouTubers as well. The camera stopped. And I'm like, wait a second. I must be reading this wrong. He must be putting out like a 20-minute episode before all this. I can't get this camera straight. Hold on a second. He must be putting out a 20-minute episode before all this to be kind of like teasing the movie, right? I must be wrong about this. So I go back over to the Twitter, right? And I'm reading, so I read The End Is Near, where I just click this one, and I start reading through these comments. They're not good, you guys, okay? Somebody said, so, the 20-minute, in parentheses, film with a crying emoji. Somebody said, with only 20 minutes, I'm expecting you all to film 3 hours of a movie and put it in 10 times speed to fit 20 minutes. Somebody said, what's the point in donating if we're only getting the 20-minute movie? How long were the episodes? I never watched Escape the Night. I mean, I guess I could pull it up right now. Let's just look and see. Escape the Night. Is it still on YouTube? I don't know if it's still on YouTube or not. Okay, here it is. Let's just pull up one episode. Of course, I pull up one on Shane Dawson. 23 minutes, 23 minutes, 23. So he raised $156,000 to basically do one episode of a series instead of a whole series. Okay, I'm confused. Somebody said, Bestie, that's going to be 20 minutes. That ain't no movie. Somebody else said, they screenshot where it said, $500,000, we make a 45-minute badass short film with monsters, mayhem, and a brief encounter with the Crimson Manor. $1 million plus, we make a mind-bending 85-minute feature film. It will be the complete Crimson Manor experience. So since they didn't raise $500,000, you don't get a 45-minute movie. You just get a 20-minute movie, right? This is crazy to me, and what's even crazier to me is Joey Graceffa, who has been around forever. I mean, his net worth is something like $10+ million. He can't donate a couple $100,000 into something that he is passionate about. I'm not asking for a cent. I'm not asking for 1 penny, okay? And I can tell you after reading this, and also seeing that Ryland Adams isn't doing his Christmas movie because he didn't raise enough money, what Ryland Adams raised is a joke when you guys hear it, okay? It totally shows you the popularity of Ryland Adams, all right? But now it's like, well, if I don't put the Christmas movie out this year, I might as well fucking put something out there. Whether it's a documentary, because I love documentaries, y'all know that. I gotta just figure out something to do a documentary about. You know? Or maybe some silly Halloween horror movie. Do something like, I've wanted to do that for a long time. Never said that out there, you know? There's so many things I could do. You know? Wrote screenplays when I was in college, you know, have written several screenplays. There's no reason why I couldn't do that. And the thing that's crazy to me is, when you're somebody like Joey Graceffa, you have a lot of people that are creative around you that you would think would donate their time to be in something like that just for exposure or to put it on their resume. So, I mean, I'm talking about people that are, I mean, he has friends that are great with makeup, special effects. He could ask them to do the makeup and the special effects in the film. Why are you only getting 20 minutes? Because you didn't raise $500,000. What was the $500,000 for? Okay. Now, I just proved to you guys, for y'all to say, well, budgets for movies are very expensive. They don't have to be. Okay. Somebody could go out today. Some of my favorite movies that I've been watching recently, the Tangerine that I watched, that director that did the Florida Project and things like that, he films all of his movies on an iPhone. Are you telling me that with creativity that has allowed you to be on YouTube for 10 plus years, and the vast amount of friends that you have that are equally as creative, that you all couldn't come up together with a way to make $156,000 work for a 90-minute film? Are you telling me that that's not possible? Then what you're saying is you really aren't as creative as you acted like you are. What you really should just hang up your career at that point. Because I'm 51 years old and I don't have nearly the experience or the views that you have on YouTube, and I ain't letting this get me down, okay? I'm not letting this kill my dream, okay? So I don't understand how money is the one thing that stops you. Which, by the way, you have money. So why don't you invest some of your own money into your passion project? Oh, this is all for the fans, right? Okay, well, do it for yourself. Don't just do everything for the fans. So then this person says, the initial plan was $250,000 for a movie, and now it's half the production value. What changed? So I guess initially it was $250,000 they were asking for. Well, they got $156,000. Somebody said old administrator got fired. Well, 20 minutes will be better than 0 minutes, I guess. Somebody said, literally tell us what the point is. We're only getting a 20-minute movie, and that ain't going to change in 11 hours. Somebody said, and because that was the last day of the fundraiser. Somebody said, I'm excited, but my only setback is that how will they have 5+ YouTubers doing death challenges and as well as a storyline telling in 20 minutes? Okay, but why did you change it from $250,000 to $120,000? Like, I love Escape the Night, and I'm excited for the return, but I don't know, this just seems shady to me. Somebody said, I'm so excited for the film. And also, they were asking who was going to play who in there. And other people are asking here about, like, well, what's the point? Another person said, what's the point if we're donating? Okay, another person said... well, this person said they were upset they didn't have the money to buy anything. So maybe that's what happens when your audience is under the age of 18. I don't know, you know? They're not using mom and dad's credit card, I guess. But it kind of, to be honest with you, makes me sad. Because I know that, like, and I'm trying to just be this from a human point of view. Joey Graceffa, Escape the Night has been something that he's been excited about for years, right? I'm telling you right now, I know people don't, you know, I get, you know, criticisms a lot for being lazy and whatever. I put out a lot of fucking videos, okay? And I know I don't edit. But a lot of these people don't edit either. A lot of these people, they do exactly what I do, and they send it off to an editor to edit, okay? It's not like they're sitting at home editing these things. Very few people do that. I know Shane Dawson does that, but very few YouTubers that are on that level do that kind of editing themselves anymore. They send it off. They have editors that they pay. Almost every big YouTuber that you know has an editor that they pay. Check me if I'm wrong, okay? So, I get, you know, criticized a lot, and I'm not comparing myself to them, but this is what I'm saying, okay, for being lazy. I'm actually a very driven person that has a lot of ideas, and many of which don't come to fruition. But here's my thing. If I was this driven about something, there is nothing that would stand in my fucking way for me getting it done. I don't care if I raise $5,000. I don't care if I raised no money. I would get everybody at the round table, okay, at that Crimson Manor, and be like, we got to figure out what we're going to do. We got to let the people have what they want, okay? There are days that I don't feel like getting on video and filming anything, but I get those comments from people that are like, oh my God, I had such a hard day, or I'm going through such a tough time. Thank you for this video. Thank you for this vlog. Those are the comments that I lean on those days that I am, like, not in the mood to film a video, right? So, and I feel so blessed that I get to do this for a living. So you come out and you raise all this money, and you raise $156,000. That's a substantial amount of money, right? And all you're doing is a 20-minute, literally, episode of what you've done 5 times before. Now, this is a cop-out to me. That's what it is. And it makes me really sad. It makes me really sad that either there's something going on behind the scenes, either he's promised that money, some of the money to people that are going to be in it already, so he can't do any more than a 20-minute, because he's promised that money, or it's going to, the expenses or whatever. He can't go to those people and say, well, if you can't, you know, whatever. I don't know why he would ask those people or give them a price point before he knew how much money he was going to have to work with. But it makes me sad. It makes me sad for Joey Graceffa that he's not creative enough to come up with an idea. And I'm saying that, in all honesty, one of the ththings that I have seen from YouTubers across the board in the last couple years is that they seem like they just are lacking creativity anymore. And it makes me sad, you know? Like, I mean, Joey called me up. I got a bunch of ideas of how you could do this for cheap. Seriously, okay? I know I've never talked to Joey Graceffa in my life, but you want some suggestions on how to do this and do a 90-minute movie for cheap? Okay? It doesn't have to be the highest quality movie. Your fans will still love it, right? There are enough people out there, you know, that are costumers, that would love to sew costumes for this, that would love to participate and just be part of the project, that have been fans of yours for years and years and years, that you could utilize to be part of this, you know? Have some normal people that are just fans of yours be in it. That way, then the next time it comes out that you're raising money, people might even donate more money because it's regular people that have been in it. You know, lean on your close friends that have been in it for a while. But to just say you're going to come out with a 20-minute film after all this, you can see your fans are disappointed. You've let your fans down, and you've let yourself down, and it makes me kind of sad. So then I went in, and I go over, and I look at this Ryland Adams thing, okay? And I'm like, so what happened with the Ryland Adams movie? Okay, this was laughable when I saw this. But again, it makes me kind of sad, honestly. So, Ryland Adams, here it is, right here, Ryland and Lizzie's Christmas movie. I went and looked it up. You can Google search it, and it comes up with a link to it. It's their Kickstarter or whatever it was. In this Christmas rom-com, Lizzie and Ryland navigate romances, outrageous antics that threaten to unravel their friendship. Okay, now, it was they said that if they didn't raise like $300,000, then they weren't going to do the movie. Okay, was what they originally said, that it wouldn't happen. They raised $19,969. 192 people backed it. 192. What was interesting about this was I found several people that had written and even some that made videos about this, that in the last 24 hours, it was actually $9,969, okay? The day before the pledge closed. In the last 24 hours, somebody made a $10,000 donation, because in the last 24 hours, it went up exactly $10,000. So people are speculating that Shane Dawson donated $10,000 or Ryland Adams donated $10,000 so that it wouldn't look so bad, okay? So we're actually looking at less than $10,000 and 192 backers, okay? Shane Dawson, Ryland are people that on their YouTube channels and their podcasts, okay, that they have millions of subscribers. Millions of subscribers. They have a huge social media presence. And Ryland Adams could only get 192 people backing them. No, I'm not buying the interest in Ryland Adams anymore. Ryland Adams, who was Vlogger of the Year like 5 years ago. Ryland Adams, Vlogger of the Year, okay? At the Streaming Awards, only got 192 backers. I'm telling you right now, I know this for a fact, okay? I could do a Kickstarter account, start it tonight, and ask people for money to do a movie. I have like maybe 100th, okay? And I know a lot of other people out there too that could do it to start a movie, and I could get a lot more than 192 backers. And I don't have nearly the amount of followers, and I'm not going to do that because I'm going to fund whatever I do, okay? And I don't have nearly the following that Ryland Adams does. That is a joke. That is an absolute joke. What that says is that nobody took it seriously. Nobody takes the career or the seriousness of it. And when people want to say, well, they can't do the movie now anyway because they have twins and blah, blah, blah. He knew he was having twins when they put this Kickstarter out. He knew that, okay? They were in the middle of that process. The kids were like a month away from being born when he put that out there. And why donate the last minute $10,000 to make it look like you got more money than you actually did? Because it's so embarrassing that you only got $10,000 and 191 backers. It is embarrassing. It absolutely is. And it's also very telling of your channel. Are you really getting those views? Are people really that engaged with you? Are people really that engaged with Shane? Are people really that engaged with the podcast? You know, Shane's views have gone down a lot, but it makes me wonder, like, if Shane Dawson, I think, if Shane Dawson had been part of this Kickstarter, I think that it would actually have picked up a lot more. I think it would have gotten a lot more traction. I think a lot more people would have donated. But maybe I'm wrong. His views have gone down a lot. A lot of people's views have gone down. But Shane's have gone down because of what happened with Shane and the cancellation. It's supposed cancellation. When you're canceled and you have 2 homes and you put 1 video out a month, you're not canceled, okay? You're living the high life. So it's just kind of surprising to me. It's also, again, surprising to me, with the same sentiment that I had with Joey Graceffa, that Lizzie and Ryland, 2 highly creative people, Shane Dawson, who, whatever, okay, we can dislike him for all the wrongdoings that he's done. He is an extremely creative person, or has been said to. He's written books, he's done short films, that they couldn't lean on Shane Dawson and come up with a Christmas movie, and maybe they are. Maybe that's what is going to happen. I don't know, right? But it makes me kind of sad that it's like, if I don't raise enough money, then I'm not going to do this project. I'm not passionate about that project anymore if I don't raise any money. For me, what it would be is, I didn't raise that money, and so I got to come up with another way to do it, you know? Most starving artists out there work 3 and 4 jobs just so they can go and be actors on off-Broadway, or sing in a bar, you know, or play guitar, or put out their own music, and things like that. That's the reality, okay, of artists. Most artists are not lucky enough to get blessed on YouTube to make millions of dollars a year through sponsorships and videos and have 2 homes in 2 different states. That's not typical. So when you're there and you let the funding get in the way of your passion, that makes me sad. That makes me sad. If I was Ryland Adams, and maybe he's talked about this, somebody please say this in the comment section below. Maybe they addressed it in the podcast. But if I were Ryland and Lizzie, I'd be like, ain't nothing stopping me from fucking making this Christmas movie. I want to make this Christmas movie. We're going to make it. We got 2 beautiful homes. Okay? We live in Colorado where there's snow. Okay? We got a barn out back with animals. We can do something with this to make a Christmas movie. We can do something with this. You know? I'd figure it out. There's so much that's coming to my mind that I could do right now with that. People getting snowed in at Christmas at their family's house, and they decide to put on a Christmas pageant in the barn with all of their alpacas. It would be hilarious. People would love it, you know, and Lizzie's there, and Lizzie falls in love with somebody, and, you know, and whatever. It would be so cute. And they could do it over a whole weekend, you know? And they could have Chris and Chris's boyfriend, and they could have Ryland and Shane and Lizzie, and they could have Ryland's family out there, and Morgan could be in it, you know? And Morgan could be commiserating about, you know, not being in love, and then the pizza guy comes, and he gets stuck there. You know, I mean, it could be so cute. I don't understand. I mean, they could still do this rom-com and do it at the farm. I don't know. It just makes me really sad. It makes me really sad. But I did go in, by the way, and watch Joey Graceffa'S vlog for those of you that, asked me to, the few that did. But he's right now renting his house out in California, which is why he's in England, because he was going to sell his house, but this is the worst housing market right now. Right now is the worst housing market. So then he goes on, and it's a sponsorship. Of course, he comes out with this vlog that he has. He's like, I'm so sorry I haven't been around forever. This is what so kills me. I'm so sorry I haven't vlogged in forever. I'm so sorry, but I'm back. Oh, by the way, this is a sponsorship. So you came back to do the vlog just because it was a sponsorship. Okay, well, more power to you. Just disclose it appropriately, okay? He didn't put paid placement. Now, Joey Graceffa'S been around longer than I have, so he knows how to do a sponsorship, okay? He said it was sponsored in the video. He said it twice. He said it at the beginning, he said it at the end. It's a game they plays on. It's his favorite game in the entire world. He plays it on the train and everything now, okay? Interesting that he showed himself on the train not playing the game. If it were me and it was a sponsorship and I showed myself being on the train, I'd show myself playing the game that I just got sponsored for that I said I love so much, right? But he does his sponsorship for this game. Now, I get a lot of these game things, okay? People know I don't play games. He's got a gaming channel, so it fits for him, right? But there is a button on YouTube when you put your video, okay? And you have to push yes or no. It's not an option. You have to put it, okay? And it says, is there paid programming, product placement, sponsorship, or anything in this video? You have to push yes or no. The fact that it's not on Joey Graceffa'S video means that he pushed no, okay? So he's being deceptive to his audience. YouTube has that button. You push it on there, okay? In the corner at the beginning of the video will come up play placement. He also doesn't disclose correctly in the comment section of his video in the description box. He doesn't say he's getting compensation for it, which he has to, okay? He just says, thank you for sponsoring me. That's not good enough these days. In 2024, that ain't good enough. It wasn't good in 2023, and it wasn't good enough in 2022, okay? And I made enough videos, and Joey Graceffa'S been around long enough to know. If he can ask people to donate money for his movie that he has enough money to make on his own, then he can fucking disclose a sponsorship appropriately. In fact, every YouTuber out there can disclose appropriately. But his whole friend group, Manny and all them, none of them know how to disclose affiliate links, sponsorships. Any of them know how to do it. They've been on YouTube longer than I have. I don't know how it's missed them, but it hasn't missed me, you know? So anyway, just want to let y'all know that. So yeah, so that's what I think about all that. I mean, at the end of the day, what makes me really sad is really for Joey Graceffa'S fans who are really excited. I mean, $156,000 is nothing to joke about that he raised that money. And his fans were really excited about a movie. I mean, he panned this as, oh my God, we're doing a movie and blah, 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 whatever, right? And that's what got him the donations of the money, okay? And I have to tell you now, like, having looked at it from this point of view, like, I'm even more driven now to put out a movie. Self-budget movie, okay? Low-budget, self-funded movie myself. I don't know when it'll happen, you know? But I'm even more driven now to do it than I was before. Because I'm like, ain't nothing going to stand me in the way of my passion. No weather, nothing. I'll have to figure it out. I'll figure something out. I'll figure something out, right? Because I wouldn't let anything stop me. You know, definitely not $100,000 when you already have $156,000. I don't know for you, but $150,000 is not joking money to me. That is enough money to make a huge project. In fact, I can tell you right now, many filmmakers out there, okay, that are independent filmmakers, low-budget filmmakers, first year out of film school, first year out of master's film school, if you gave them $150,000 and said you can make any film you want to make, can you imagine what they would be able to do with that? So for me, it's a cop-out, okay? That's just how I feel, that you're going to make 20 minutes off of that, you know? So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.